people, here it is that time again. Thursdays belong to the male voice, and we are here and ready to share with you guys on tonight. Go ahead and do us a favor. Forward this. I was about to say forward this text. Where am I saying? Share this. Share this post. Share this post. Everybody share this post. We're gonna start doing some giveaways or something to see who shares the post the most. Share this post, and so we can get right off into it. Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, if you've never heard of this fabulous crew, you already know who it is. I can't tell what they look like on your screen, but on my screen, right up under my picture, is none other than Mr. Kermit KC Fashion Childs. They have
What's up? What's
all
up?
right. Next to him on my screen is Mr. Jeremiah Rankins.
Hey, what's up? Good evening, everybody. Happy holidays.
Yeah. And then up there having lunch, your friend and our nemesis, Mr. DC, the comedian, and Sebastian.
What's up, people? What's up? What's up? What's up?
Why you holding Sebastian up? He wanted to make sure he was recognized.
Yeah. He keeps saying that y'all keep forgetting about him, so he had to, hey, I'm here.
That's probably because we don't like him that much. Nevertheless, fellas, how was y'all's Thanksgiving? How was y'all days off? We took some days off. How was that? Y'all good?
Good.
Good.
Man.
I ate too much.
Yeah.
You ate too much.
Yeah.
You probably cooked too much in that.
No, I didn't cook. All I made was banana pudding.
Okay, well, so what you had your staff cook in that kitchen?
No, I went to my godmother's where the food goes down.
Okay, did you wear your male voice mask? That's what I need to know.
No, I didn't have my male voice mask on over there.
He had Mr. Belvedere. He had Laverne and Shirley. What's George Jefferson made? Florence. He had Florence.
Yes,
Mr. Belvedere.
Tonight, guys, is going to be an interesting show. We're going to talk about some stuff that just needs to be talked about, such as the culture. The culture includes so many different aspects and things that we probably just need to discuss that's not being talked about. And even though we can't change everything, we can do our part to make a mark on what's going on. So tonight's show is actually talking about the culture. What's going on with the culture? What's going on with today? It's not like it used to be, not like the days of old. But then I had somebody pose a question to me, so that why are the days of old so good? What's wrong with how we're doing now? I think I have some questions. And so there's a slogan that's going around. It's been going around for some time now. I think it's kind of funny. It's who peed in the pool? It definitely has pee in it, because there are some problems. It's typically used when who peed in the pool when it comes to dating. But I think it has a lot to do with somebody that messed up some of our norms. And with that said, let's talk about it. So, what do you think? Who wants this first? What's happening to the culture? Where are we at?
Okay, hold on. Before we get started, I got a question. So, it's not really somebody peed in the pool. I thought somebody peed in the swimming pool. I'm just saying. I peed in the pool before.
Oh.
And I pee in the shower.
Oh.
So I thought it was peeing in the pool for real.
Real quick. I want to blame Sir Mix-a-Lot for his I love big butts.
And I cannot lie.
That's the problem.
Look, I really think, and I put this in my book, Minor to Major, how I turned my minor setback into a major comeback. It's on my website. I put that in my book. That is a huge contributor to our culture. That's when the game just totally stopped. We over-sexualizing our women. White men started looking at black women like, dang, look at them booties. They are kind of thick. And so then our women started endorsing, you know what? This is beautiful. I am beautiful. And they became sex objects. And that was the beginning. That was the beginning of when our culture started going down.
Yeah. I like big butts, I cannot lie. You other brothers can't deny. When a girl walked in with an itty bitty waist and a round thing in your face, you get sprung. Okay. I went there.
Yeah, you meant that, right? You like that song, didn't you? So Out the gate, man, out the gate, you hit us with it has to be Sir Mix-a-Lot who made everybody start looking at booties. And because they are looking at butts, everything just went to trash.
We went down here from that.
So you got
doing the butt.
So you got young men chasing women for the wrong values. They chasing fat booties, big busty lips and chests, and they're chasing women for the wrong values. And women, they're gonna sport it. They're gonna rock it because they want the ballers. They want the men with the money. And so if you got all these beautiful busty body features, you're gonna get the one with the money. And so then that's when we started getting, single parent homes, men. This is a contributor. This isn't the only reason why. But you got men chasing these women, having sex. Then you get babies and say, "Oh no, I didn't want no full-time relationship. I didn't want no marriage. I just wanted the booty."
The booty was calling me.
But Sir Mix-a-Lot, you had 36, 24, 36.
See, Brick House, which was before.
Yeah.
Okay, so Marlena says men has been liking big butts since the beginning of time. Can you show me scripturally where somebody liked a big butt? No, I'm just kidding. That's a joke.
But I'm finna go there. I'm finna say.
No.
Well, Rachel in the Bible, Leah's sister would not let me.
Here you go. Leah, listen.
Deuteronomy 1:1.
You're a lie. Mike Dub says we've been set in our destructive ways for too many generations. Generations. So that's so the question at hand, what's wrong with the culture? What's wrong with the culture? Where are we compared to where we should be as it relates to the culture? I mean, I remember a time where you were set to do certain things, and if you didn't do them, your parents handled you in a certain way. Nowadays, Bernie Mac called it out, and y'all, I'm finna drop a cuss word, so cover your ears. Bernie Mac was real clear. Bernie Mac said we got some weak ass parents. I mean, the parents don't feel like they shouldn't do what was done to them, and so they change how they raise their children, or as the older people say, rear their children. Come on with it, Sebastian.
Sebastian was first.
No, Kermit, go ahead. Go on, Kermit.
Well, I would say I think a lot. I believe a lot happened when men started being absent in the home. I think a lot of structure, a lot of discipline, a lot of order left the house when men left the house. When it was a full family, I think when there was more family values, when family was of utmost importance, I think there was a lot more pride. There was a lot more structure. There was a lot more being done when you had father figures who were examples, and discipline. And then when you have fathers being imprisoned and things of that nature, especially in our community, when you see the men are gone, then you have women, grandmothers, and those that are trying to raise, or grandparents trying to raise children with different culture without, I think it just really boils down to men being gone.
Okay, I like the way you closed men being gone, because I was waiting on you for a question, because you said when the men left the household. And so my question was going to be when they left or when they were taken away. Some people have spoken to me about they believe it's systematic that black men are taken out of their homes. And so let me hear Sebastian, because
welfare had a part in that. Welfare had a part in that, making sure if you're gonna have welfare, there couldn't be a man in the house.
Right.
That was way back in the 70s.
Right.
I think a lot of it come down to when the government and the city allows the police to come in, and kids nowadays so quick to pick the phone up and call child abuse 911.
Okay. So you're saying before that law, basically our culture is suffering because we can't whoop like we used to.
Right. We can't. Remember, we was young. We was catching whoopers in church, in school, neighbor, home. You can't do that now. We was catching whoopers in Lubis, Piccadillys, Walgreens,
the neighbor's house down the street.
The
neighbor house down the street would whoop your butt and tell your mom.
That ain't happening now. You cannot touch a child without somebody videotaping and put you on YouTube and blast, having the cops come to your house and pick you up for child abuse.
I completely lost what you were saying because something popped up on my screen. And everybody's not going to understand why this changed my whole view of stuff. But popped up on my screen is an introduction of nobody but the one, the only, Blue Chocolate. The bartender named himself BC.
Blue Chocolate!
Coming to the stage.
that took me completely out of our conversation. What named himself BC? Blue Chocolate.
He got it on there?
Yeah, that's what his name is. Popped up as Blue Chocolate. BC.
Blue Chocolate.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, y'all welcome Mr. John White, better known as Blue Chocolate. Nevertheless, jumping back to where we were. So Casey says father's out of the home. DC says they took away whipping. Jeremiah was shaking his head. Tell me why, Jeremiah.
There is a lot of systematic oppression in the Black and minority communities. Not just Blacks, but in minority communities. I can speak firsthand because I am a Black male and I know firsthand about it. But I think that we as a Black community need to start taking responsibility for our actions. So let's say the government dropped dope in our neighborhood. It doesn't mean 15, 20 years later, we still got to sell the crack and the dope. Mm-hmm. We take responsibility for picking up that dope and selling it. And all this getting angry and mad because the white man don't get a punishment as harsh as we get. Like, we just need to stop doing the crime. And so I do agree that there is a huge systematic oppression in minority communities, but we as a people, we need to take responsibility for our men not being a part of their children's lives. We need to take responsibility of that.
That's all you got?
I think if the baby mama had a big booty, the man won't leave. Sir Mix-a-Lot.
They leave.
Ain't got nothing to do with if they leave or not. They leave. Here's a question I got. I can't find what happened, where it went. Let me find it. Nevertheless, let me take this off. But the question I had real quick, is it still, in 2020, is it still the white man's fault?
No.
Hell no.
No.
So look, let me give you myself real quick, and some of the viewers probably don't know my story, but here you are looking at a Black male living in Texas in the South, who's got 2 felonies, convicted felon, who got out of prison, chose to use his education. I went to college. Got a master's degree, became licensed in the state of Texas, and now I have contracts to see you who are at risk like myself, doing pretty well. I've got my own business.
Wow.
There's no excuse. America is not the greatest country in the world. I don't think we can ever say that, but we've been brainwashed. But anyways, America is not the greatest country in the world, but we have so many opportunities. There's no room for excuses not to succeed, period.
Right.
No room for excuses. The answer is no. You still can't blame the white man at this point.
Right. I like what Lena say.
Can I offer maybe an alternative, maybe?
Yeah,
I'm not gonna say it's the white man's fault. I'm reading some stuff right now. Stand Your Ground. It's a good book. Stand Your Ground. I'm also reading right now.
I got it.
The New Jim Crow.
I got it.
All right. So you already know what I'm talking about. So when you consider the systems that were set in place for slavery and the whole mindset for the Jim Crow situation, all those particular things were systems that were set up to put in a mindset in Black men. And so like when you flip the script and you, I guess, bring in like what we see today in culture, like the new Jim Crow. They're not doing it with whips and lashes and things of that sort, but now they're doing it through the legal system, where if a young brother gets red flagged and he's a repeat offender, or it is first time offense, based upon where this individual has their arrest at, or where they get caught with whatever, or even if they just happen to get stuff planted on them. Once that red flag is placed on them and they get put in the system, and it's hard for them to get out of the system. And then once they come out of the system, they've been so labeled because of however their situation worked out, if the drugs were planted on them, or if a white girl says she was raped by him, or whatever the case may have been, that record always follows them. And so opportunities, just like Jeremy just said, opportunities can be inhibited. You know what I'm saying? Opportunities can be kind of cut off at the head or at the pass because, and I mean, you can't blame it on the white man, but there's a system that's set in place for some people. And if we don't have access to those opportunities based upon mistakes that we probably made in our past, and I'm saying we so y'all can say amen, based upon mistakes that we made in our past, or, you know, bad judgments that have, you know, been made or whatever, sometimes everybody does not get those opportunities. So, I mean, we can't blame the white man, but sometimes it's a mindset. And if a person is in that certain mindset, we don't see it a lot here in Houston. Thanks be to God. We don't see it a lot here in Houston. But go back some years, maybe a couple of years ago, even when Barack Obama was in the White House, when Chicago, his hometown, was having all of those murders like daily. I mean, it was almost like an epidemic. I mean, they were killing black people, black men killing one another. I mean, it was happening daily. And the reason why was because a lot of those guys were unemployed. They were unemployed because they were repeat offenders. They were repeat offenders because once they got out the first time, there were no systems set in place to rehabilitate them, to foster them back into society so that they could benefit from some opportunity.
So I agree. I agree to a certain point. But despite the system and your environment, we can be in a extremely poverty-struck, destitute area. You choose to pick up that pistol and murder somebody for what they got. You choose to go sell crack cocaine. There is alternatives. I don't believe that is all the end all be all, the last resort to everything. And so that goes back to my point of we need to take responsibility for our own actions.
What about when now that you went to prison, you've come out, you've rehabilitated your life, you've broken the cycle? How much of that responsibility is on you to reach out to somebody who's not thinking like you at this point, but to reach back and say, hey, I've did that, I've done that, I'll come through it. How about you change your mindset? How much of that responsibility do you take on for yourself?
I feel like at the very beginning of my profession, I said, I'm going to do one-on-one talk therapy with these kids, and I'm going to reach each and every one of them. But it's impossible. I did an internship at the Harris County Juvenile Probation Department, the jail, nothing but black kids. I said, man, if I sit down and talk to one kid for an hour each week, I'm not touching nearly as much enough kids who need to be getting this message, getting this word.
Right.
So the burden on when I saw all those black kids, I promise you, Mike, if you or any one of our viewers would to walk on to the jails and see how many black faces are in these jails and their kids, I'm telling you, it'll break your heart. It will break your heart.
Listen, I've got my own experiences. I know what's there and what it's like. My question about that is what, I guess I'll save it till later. I'll pin it for now because that's a part of the talk. If we recognize that if we recognize that that's a problem, what is our solution? We obviously can't reach everybody, but we still have to do our part to reach somebody.
Yeah.
One of the reasons why we do how we do this show is called The Male Voice, and I don't think either of you have ever asked, why did I name it The Male Voice? It's named The Male Voice because we have no voice. We didn't have normal day-to-day black men who could speak up and say something and not be monitored by how we do and what we do. So I came up with The Male Voice. It's just we got something to say too. Like I'm here, we've got something to say. So listen to me. In essence is where it kind of came from. However, we all have opinions. We all have voices. But who accepts they're wrong? What if your opinion is wrong? Can you accept that and join hands and join teams and make it better? We all have something to say, but how about when you can accept, okay, you know what? Maybe they were right, and not be bitter about it. Don't be a Donald Trump and a Joe Biden America. Don't be bitter about it. Just accept the fact that, listen, I may have done this wrong. I need to change this and move to the next step. How do we do that?
Well, I would say when you change the mind, you change the man. So something that Jeremiah said, and I think also the Blue Chocolate said, that, you know, it's a mindset, you know, and when you know, every change has to start in your mind. You know, once you change your mind, you're gonna change your actions. Once you change your mind, you'll change your direction. So if we can get to the heart of the mind of men, you know, and not just men, but just people in our culture, period. I think a whole lot will change, because if it ain't in your mind, I can talk to you all day long, and if you have not made a conscious change of mind, your direction ain't gonna change.
Real quick question for everybody. What is the most influential environmental outside factor on black and minority youth? What is the most?
The music. I think
music and TV.
More specific, what kind of music?
Hip hop.
Yeah, music. That's where we need to start.
You know,
because they see all the hip hoppers with the money, with the cars,
women,
with the broads, with this and that, and they try to. I got a godson who's struggling right now with school and everything because he see that's you know the culture. He sees that. So if the hip hop culture could really change a little bit and take a step back, then these young brothers and sisters might change and to adapt to that.
You know, I would tend to think a little bit further than that, because it's piggybacking on what KC said earlier. Yes, it should be with hip hop, but it's still got to start at home first, because I grew up in a house at certain times, certain music couldn't be played. So if your house doesn't allow this, then they don't grow up with it. Yes, they're going to sneak in, do it their own way at their own time and do all other kind of stuff. But if you have a standard set at home, then when they go out of the home, they can still do what they want to do, but I'm still going to remember what was the standard.
They're going to remember that standard. Yeah.
At 45, there are some things that I'll think, oh, my mama can hear me before I do certain things. So there has to be a standard set. And so, yes, but at the time where there is, you're never going to change the hip hop mode. You're just not going to change it. And here's why. It's too much money into it.
Yeah.
As long as they keep making that money, they're going to do it the way. I don't listen to today's hip hop, not because I don't necessarily like the music. It's because I don't understand the damn thing they saying. So I don't listen to it.
Body. I listen to it.
Or they can make a hit off of nothing.
Ain't no
a few words that mean nothing.
Ask Megan Thee Stallion. Megan Thee Stallion. That song she got body. I saw it body.
Listen, here's my problem with you. You probably don't even like the song. You just like the body.
Right.
I'm gonna drink.
I mean, I for example, okay, I have Spotify, right? So I have the Spotify family plan. With the Spotify family plan,
Spotify's family plan. I can't even afford it. I got Pandora.
You need to quit, man.
And I got the
It is not. It's not expensive. It's not expensive, but basically with Spotify, so my children each had opportunity to have their own account connected to because they're part of the family. So of course it has where you can block profanity or anything that was explicit. Explicit is a word. Any explicit. Darn near every song almost that my daughter or them wanted to listen to, it was blocked. Why? Because almost everything out there is explicit. Sex sells. The content is, and I have my baby girl, sweet baby girl, but she listened to a song and some of the stuff she didn't even know what she really, honestly, real talk, didn't know what she was listening to. She was just liking the music and you're listening to it and you realize what you just said? She's
I
like,
don't understand. I'm 49 years old. Some of that stuff I don't understand what they're talking about.
Now, look, these kids know what these songs is, the slang. They know all of it. They know it.
Yeah,
but see, my oldest daughter, she does.
Everybody who's listening, hear me, please. If you don't teach your kids, society will.
They will
sit down and have them hard talks with them, have them hard conversations, and let them say, "Ew, we got to talk about that," or "Oh my God," or whatever they got to say. Have those conversations. I had those very hard, tough, direct conversations with my sons, and I don't regret it one bit. I still, at this stage, 20 and 22, I'll still have those hard conversations. Stuff that you probably don't even want to talk about. You better talk about it before you end up crying about it. Talk about it. Have those talks. So I have another question. This question directly for John White.
Oh
yeah? Yeah.
Blue chocolate.
Blue chocolate. Why are millennials leaving the church?
A lot of times they don't feel relevant to them.
The atmosphere or the word or what?
Well, when you consider, again, and this is the point that I was going to make about hip hop, the evolution of hip hop, we've seen it, progress. We've gone from gangster rap to trap music to now whatever you call this stuff.
Miami
you know what I'm saying? So like the church culture, breakdancing. The church culture has, well, not so much as the church, but as it is the congregants of the church. A lot of times we have experienced, another shift. When we probably came up, you could go to church Sunday morning and Sunday night, and it'd be jam-packed.
Without having the choice. Without having the choice if you were going.
Yeah, without having no choice. And I was speaking about adults, but kids had no choice at that time. Church is what we do. We all do in church, But when our generation became parents, our generation began giving the choice.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's what I started out with. That we were so stuck on not being like our parents, we started changing the culture.
Right. And sometimes maybe unknowingly, you know what I mean? But it became an entire cultural shift as it relates to the church. And then after our generation, maybe in between our kids and our nephews' generation now and nieces, they're now parents. And so now it's not even a choice for them. If we go, we go. If we don't, we don't. And so now the reason why a lot of times is because the church it's not relevant anymore. There's a book called The Essential Church, and the target, I think it's by Tom Rainer. The target about that book was to try to grapple with strategies on making the church essential again. You know what I mean? And again, but for so many, church is an afterthought. When again, for our grandparents, our parents, even for some of us, when it came Sunday morning, it wasn't a second thought. We're gonna be at church. Right. There came after that, church becomes an option now. And go ahead.
This is real powerful, man. What you're saying is so powerful, and it's speaking volumes. I mean, just talking about, I talked about in my book again. I talked about how during the Martin Luther King, the marches, the 60s, 50s, the 70s, the church was essential. It was a part of Black culture.
Right.
When things needed to be done, people would go to the church.
Right.
You know what I mean?
That was our meeting. That was our spirit. That was one of our pillars. That was the foundation of our culture. And we've moved away from that. And now you're going to see an increase of violence, shooting, bang, bang, gang violence. You're going to see single parent homes. You're going to see baby mama drama. You're going to see children being raised without fathers. And it starts with the core values in the Black community, and the church being one of them.
But nowadays, churches stop at 1 o'clock. It's no more church service after 1 o'clock. You may have a couple of 3 o'clock service, but after that, you have no more evening services. You might have some revivals during the week, or you might have some Bible studies. But you remember, we was going to church. You had Mission 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, Ursa Board. You had BTU. It's none of that now. I mean, we went to church. I was in church. I'm a pastor's kid, so I've been to church all day long. So now church is like,
DC, I didn't know you was a pastor's kid.
I surely didn't know you.
Come on. Anyway,
Explain.
You got in trouble a whole lot when you was a kid.
Explain some things.
Hey, Sebastian say, listen to what I gotta say.
Now I know what's up with my son.
But so now, when we was coming up, the culture changed. So we used to run to the church. I love going to church. I was there, Bible study, Boy Scouts, whatever it is. We don't have it now. And the millennials, they don't have nothing that they can do. That's why they don't go to church, because when the pastor is preaching, or they go to a church, it's nothing, no young adult, it's no youth, it's just straight church. And then the pastor is preaching, and the millennials can't understand. But when you have a church with a pastor that understand and been somewhere, I like that. I like a pastor who been somewhere.
But see, that was what I was saying. The church is no longer relevant to them, and by that, there's so many layers, I guess, to that. But when you consider the progressions of everything that is associated with our life and living, cars are no longer the same. You know what I mean? Grocery stores are no longer the same. We used to have on the north side, we used to have Sack and Save.
Oh, watch out!
Boy, right next
to Sack and Save. You know what I mean? And at Sack and Save, they had their own little paradigm shift. You could bag up your own groceries. But Sack and Save culture could not survive today, because hey, you can ring yourself, or you got self-checkout now.
Right.
You know what I mean? You can scan your little card situation and pay for your stuff. Matter of fact, you can call the Uber, what you call it?
They can shop for you.
Yeah, they can do the stuff for you. But these are all evolutionary, I guess, transitions that have taken place. Well, when you go in some churches, the culture that is set up and established is still operating on a Sack and Save paradigm. And you got these kids living in a culture that has migrated and that has evolved in so many different ways. And everything is fast and everything is moving. And now, you got more kids now that have ADD and ADHD. So if you can't grab their attention in that first 30 to 60 seconds, you lost them.
The rap music will. The rap music will get them real quick.
We didn't have ADD when I was growing up.
We did.
Don't change.
We had BELT. We didn't have ADD.
Yes. You was considered.
We had BEAT.
You caught a whooping. You caught a beating. But we never got our kids tested. I should have been tested. I ain't gonna lie.
Should have.
I need to be tested now.
Yeah.
But for real though. But they try to whoop beat it out of you. Every time
it's a simple
these comments that we have. Let me add to this. I think it's also a notion, I think we should discuss this too, that the elders of the church realistically run some of the millennials or younger people away from the church.
They do.
They do. We'll talk about it later. Let's see what Mary Elizabeth says. She said church lost the ability to be relevant. Folks go where they feel comfortable. You lady. She says people seem to be more interested in recreation rather than church, brunch, ball games, bars, etc., instead of church. Melania said, I agree. Millennials are seeking true spirituality, relationship, not the show a lot of us churches are putting on. I hear you, Reverend. Here's Sandra Nolan. Sandra says, we as people need to know we sometimes fall short. But if we keep God first, glory will come. Man, do you see this next comment? I'm about to holler. John, where you at, boy? Y'all, our very own Mr. John Decker.
The other part of the thing.
Watching us and should be on the screen. But check it out. He says, I think we hurt our kids watching us behind the scenes in church. That's good. We have that I'm in it forever mentality, but all they know is the church hurt by mom and dad. Yeah, the kids been seeing you act, and so they act a little bit different. You know what's funny is I thought about it after the fact. My sons, as I said, often mention the 20 and 22. My 20-year-old son heard me say a curse word a few years ago. Growing up his entire life, he didn't hear that. He didn't hear curse words. He didn't see me drinking and all that other kind of stuff. He didn't hear any of that. So a few years ago, he heard a curse word and he was like, what? Where'd that come from? Because I was the Christian that only listened to gospel music. That when you get in my car, that's all you got. You ain't got 97.9 and all. You only had, listen, many years of my life. That's all they got because that's all I allowed them to get. And I'll tell you what the problem was with that. And I did say problem. The problem was with that is I didn't know balance.
Didn't know balance, right?
But at the same time, balance causes things to weaken. It causes things to weaken. So here's what I got next. Has parenting gotten weaker?
Yes.
Has parenting gotten weaker?
I believe parenting has gotten weaker. I believe, I don't want to say just necessarily parenting has gotten weaker. I think the standards have gotten weaker. I think what we allow, or what parents of this day allow, as it relates to their standards, are weaker. Not only are we dealing with the things that our children have to listen to, they see that they're around in school and what other people are doing, but if you have no standards upheld at home, nothing to uphold at home, then basically your children are being taught by what they get, the television.
The world is going to teach them. That's for sure. The world is going to teach them. So you better set the standard first. And here's the other thing. Jeremiah, you can relate to this. Don't wait too long to set the standard. That's going to make it even harder. How do you allow something for 13 years? Now this kid is 13, 14, and here you are changing what you've allowed them to do all of their lives thus far. You got a bigger issue on your hand by allowing that for so many years, and now you want to change it. That's
so you saying you say as parenting gotten weaker. I think it just changes from how our parents were, and so I'm thinking weaker in that sense. It's not like a bad thing because to some folks we just don't want to raise our kids like we were raised.
But why not is the question. So if you look at if you look at how you are. How you turned out, what's wrong with the way they taught you? What's wrong with, and not necessarily the methods that they taught you, but what they taught you.
Oh, no, yeah. I was raised from a whole bunch of folks. I was flip-flopping all over God dog Houston. So, hey. I mean, and I sure wasn't raising my kids like I was raised.
Right.
Because in the discipline, and my wife, she'd say, you can't do that to your, the kids how you was. You know what I'm saying? So some stuff that was done to me as a child, I couldn't do that to my kids now. I tried that, but that wasn't right. That wasn't good. You know, the whoopings, the discipline, the punishment. You can't go back to how you was back in 1980s and the 90s and the 70s. You can't.
Check this out. Like Sandra said, whoopings made me who I am. You know, I hated a lot of sometimes when I was growing up. I was like, why she got to be so mean, and why she got to do this, and why she got to do that?
No, listen,
it saved my life in a whole bunch of scenarios too.
No. Listen here. Now, my kids, I caught whoopings, and my kids haven't caught that many whoopings, and it's different. Yeah, it might it make a person, it make you the better person or that there. But now when you raise your kids, you raise them a different way, so they don't have to catch whoopings. So they don't have to get all that punishment, and your kids will be all right.
Right. Let's address this.
So basically, you saying educate your kids better so that they make the right choices, so you don't have to.
And then stop trying to, like my wife was saying. My wife was like, you can't. You so hard on them. You was there. And I sit back and say, yeah, that's how my grandfather did. That's how my mama did. Because my mama reacted how my grandfather did. And so I'm acting how they did. But you don't want your kids acting like that. So I had to pull back. My wife had to show me you can't do that. You can't whoop them for that. You can't punish them for that.
Let's address this statement that's on the screen. I think it has a lot. It can be taken a lot of ways. Listen, it says open communication is the key with your children.
Right.
However, I hear you saying right, and that's good. However, what about the household that says you don't question what I do, you do what I say?
If you talk,
go
on.
I was going to say, I think that is a form of communicating. You know what I mean? The bottom line is, and I agree with DC. I agree with you as well, Mike. I think there's no cookie cutter format to parenting. I don't care how much different DC you try to be or try to be with your kids. I don't care how, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
No parent was perfect. Right. You know what I'm saying? None of them. None of us. But the idea is to try to reach, because I got 4 kids, and all of them are different, you know. And so what works for one may not work for the other.
True.
So if beating kids is just my way, then I'm going to be beating somebody that beating ain't going to benefit. It ain't going to reach them. You know what I mean? So you've got to be able to get the same kind of responses maybe that our parents and grandparents got out of us in a way that's tailored for your own children. If it comes in the form of a whooping, fine. But if you have to sit them down and talk to them, then that's what it's going to take.
I think it always start with the talking.
Say again?
I think it should always start with the talking. Don't start
because if you don't reach them here, it does not matter what you do on their behind. Right. You'll scare them in line, but they still won't have no understanding.
Right.
Yeah, there has to be an understanding why you're being disciplined and what the reason. And I think a lot of times too for parents, just like the Bible says, your yay needs to be yay and your nay needs to be nay. Yes needs to be yes and no needs to be no. When we give too many choices and too many options and too many, because I know they have their own mind. I understand that as a child having their own mind. But I also feel like you have to have a standard and say, if I said no, if it's no today, tomorrow, next week, next year, it's still no. Because if you keep playing around and pushing around, at the end of the day, police ain't gonna give you no options. It's either, if I said get on the ground, it's get on the ground. Right. It ain't, well, are we gonna discuss it and talk about it and figure out if you feel like right now or how do you want me to get on? No, it's get on the ground. So, I'd rather discipline you and have you in the right place to where you can understand and respect authority and know, when your life really matters. you know how to act later on down the road.
What you got, Jeremiah?
I would like to take a page out of some of the Asian cultures, which is taking the autonomy, which y'all just described is autonomy.
Mm-hmm.
We are giving our children what I believe is too much autonomy. Oh, go to college and do what you want, major in whatever you want. and they want to be football players, so they major in PE, or they major in pillow sewing, and so I feel like we are giving our children way too much autonomy to be free and whatever you want.
Too much.
And it's causing more problems. And so anyways, in the Asian culture, these parents, they're not giving their children too much autonomy. What they're doing is they're training their children to be men. They're training their children to be productive women. And so I feel as a parent, that's what I would like to do. I'd like to train up my child to be a productive man in society. And that's what our job is as parents. We're supposed to be preparing them for adulthood. And I don't think that we're doing a good job of parenting doing that. I just don't believe we're doing
Train that child up in the way that he should go when he's old.
I think autonomy.
Spell it.
What the hell is autonomy? What the heck is autonomy?
Choices. Too many choices.
Okay.
Basically, you get too many decisions.
Jamie,
this is what's for dinner.
Choices. Don't tell me no autonomy.
This is what's for dinner. Do you want green beans? It ain't if you want green beans. This is what's for dinner. This is what you eating. You're gonna either eat this or be hungry.
No, I want the chips. I want the Doritos.
No.
So autonomy is choices.
Because if you have not taught your children when real life hit them, they ain't gonna know how to. If they don't know how, man, please.
What? You know what? I am so.
You got a little upset, did you?
I got a little upset right there because when real life comes into play, they won't know. I have a little. He's a cousin, but I would consider him like a nephew. But he's my cousin. His father is deceased. His father was murdered. He was murdered, gunned down in the street. And his father's mother was murdered. She was left dead in a ditch near Sterling High School. Here he is. His father's dead. His grandmother is dead, and his great grandmother, which is my grandmother, is raising him. So therefore, here he is with all this autonomy. He eats hot dogs. He don't know how to cook. He don't know how to wash clothes. He don't clean his room. He don't do nothing. And you know where he is right now? At 18 years old, he hasn't finished school. He hasn't, he was in and out. Then he got hooked up with crowds, doing crazy stuff. Now he's in jail at the moment. Dang. 18 years old, ain't even out of high school yet, but you're in jail. Calling for grandmother. But there was no discipline.
Right.
There was no discipline, nothing instilled, no standards raised. And here he is now, a product of the system.
Very profound statement. Edward says, I focus on teaching my kids accountability. You can't just use your power to discipline without adding accountability. You were born looking like your parents, but you die looking like the decisions you made.
Ooh.
Very good, Edward.
That nigga, he didn't go to school nowhere in Houston. He must have went to school somewhere in like Austin, like UT. Cause there ain't no school in Houston.
That's my boy Danny. That's Danny, man.
His name is Edward. His name ain't Danny. No, I'm just joking.
His name is Edward Daniel. His name is Danny.
Oh, that's his deacon. That's his deacon.
No,
he
had
a good coach.
So listen, in today's society, so we're talking about culture. 3 of you are married, 2 of us are not. Here's the question: how important is marriage in today's culture? We're not talking about the old days. We're talking about today. Because listen, I have friends who have said to me, I just want a nice chick. I just want somebody I can get along with, somebody that I can deal with. We ain't got to be married. We can just be together. I have some male friends and female friends have said it too. We don't have to be married. People have been married before. We don't have to be married. I want to find somebody that I can mesh with. What do you think about that? How we deal with that?
No commitment.
I think it's important today, yesterday, last year, 10 it's
forevermore.
Yes, marriage is important because that brings the focus on how the kids gonna keep on going, generation. So if the kids see that the daddy ain't married, He got girlfriend coming in. He gonna be the same way. She gonna be the same way. So marriage is important. So the kids can have something to model what their life should be like.
Yeah, that's the first thing that God set up. Adam and Eve. The first thing He set up was a relationship. But yet,
very, very important. Everybody says it's important. Marriage is important today and yesterday. On and on and on. It's gonna be important. There's no right. End.
You need both. You need both sides of this coin to raise your children.
So
the kids can see. And we can say, hey, my parents was married. Their parents was married. We all married.
But let me ask you this. Are you us? Are you asking what do we think society's opinion on marriage is? Because it's two different things.
No. We're asking what you think. Represented here, sure. Singles and married. Because some people marry out of necessity.
Right.
Marry just so, as Melinda just said, some people marry to help with these bills. Right. Now, I can't remember who it was, but I know I read it or I heard it. I remember somebody saying, one of these gurus, one of your kind of people, Jeremiah, one of these people who been to school, they said, don't marry for love. Marry for, what did they say? For I can't even think of it, but they said don't marry for love. I'm gonna think of it. I know who knows. Ashley, my niece Ashley is watching. Who said that? If not, find out. Somebody said don't marry for love, and I want to talk about why we say you do or you don't. Your lady says no commitment. Marriage is work, and I think there are some who don't want to put in the work. It's not easy, and it's I ain't reading the last part. No, I'm just kidding. It's not easy, and it is beyond sex.
But look at the numbers. If I'm a young person coming up, I'm 18, 19 years old, and I see, especially if I'm coming from a home that the divorce or a single parent,
right.
The divorce rate is 50-50. It's 50-50. Okay? Everyone knows this. Kids know this. Toddlers know this. Everybody knows half of marriage couples, they're going to end in divorce. And so what kids are doing, what young people are doing, so they bump that. It's not really on my high priority list. It's not on my priority list.
Right. Yeah, it's all that has shaped the minds of people. That's why, as time has gone on, so many standards have been dropped, and so therefore, I think we can't get away from that word, standards. So many standards have been dropped. There's not enough modeling of what is good and what is upstanding and what is right. So therefore, many of our youth and many in our culture are left to just make their own way, because they don't have an example. And for example, they said, there was a time where grandmother's big mama was big mama. Now big mama trying to be down there with you, twerking and doing what, trying to tell you she's still got it.
No.
That's a big mama 32 years old.
No. Yeah, well, that's true, because grandmothers now are younger than they used to be. A grandmother used to be 60 or so or more. Now you got grandmothers at 35 and 40, years old. They already grandmothers because they 30 years old with a 15-year-old, and they 15-year-old has had a child. So now you got so much that has changed. Whereas who do they look up to now?
Not only that,
question for DC. Go ahead, Jeremiah. Then I'm gonna ask DC a question.
Not only that, but subconsciously, if marriage was such a high priority, if it was so glorified, if it meant so much, how come so many of our parents? How come Day and them, Kevin and them, John and them, Whitney and them? How come all their parents are divorced? If it's such a big deal, and so when people see that, the value of marriage goes down as well.
I think if I had to answer that question with one question, it's because people gave up.
Yeah,
gave up. I have huge respect for not just married people. I have a much greater respect for people who've been through something and decided to stay with it. Mm-hmm. It's great to be married for all them years, I think it's even greater when you've gone through some stuff, and you know, that's one of the reasons why we're going to do the show coming up. Sometimes I do, and sometimes I don't. But at the end of the day, you stay right there. You know, and I have a major respect for people who do that with marriage. I'm gonna do a couple more things. I got a question for DC. Here is Mia said people nowadays are getting married, and soonest times get hard, they want a divorce. They don't stick around for the better or the worse, or the sickness and the health. Sandra says, yeah, but those women expected things women now will not. Accepted things women now will not. And let's just not put it on the women. There's something men have changed too. We'll talk about that in a whole nother show.
Well, I was just sitting here thinking, I've heard everybody talking, but the entire landscape of marriage has changed. Now we got men and men, we got women and women.
Ooh.
So who then determines what's right? Who then determines what is?
Hey, remind me, let's schedule that show.
Yeah.
Whole show.
Yeah, that's an entire show.
So now
I'm switching lanes.
Let's talk about that next week.
Grown children subject to chores when visiting or relaunching from your house.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Hold on. Kermit, you ain't got grown kids living with you right now. I got a 28-year-old came home. He up here right now sick.
Really?
Yes, he has things to do. Washing his clothes, clean that doggone bathroom. And he drops some money off. He go doggone. I ain't asked him to do all that. He bought some groceries and things. I ain't asked him to do all that.
Good.
What he do?
And he that's how he is. And because he came home, he's been in Arlington for 10 years. He wanted to come home, be with family. So he's here. He's trying to save money so he can go get his own apartment. I hope he hit the lottery tomorrow so he can leave.
Listen,
he ain't watching. He got
I'll
to go.
trade you for this 20-year-old I got.
Huh?
I'll trade you for this 20-year-old I got.
No, I don't want nobody in their 20s.
Listen,
24,
I'm obviously
24, she can go, and the 28 can go.
Listen, I'm obviously in my home office. You see my stuff behind me. My son knows exactly what I do every Thursday. He's hearing me talk because I'm not whispering in the home office. Yet he comes down the stairs and asks me, hey, I'm finna go to Popeyes. You want something?
That's how you do that.
And I'm like, no, I know you see me.
I heard you say I'm on live right now.
I'm finna go to Popeyes. You want, and here's the deal. John, I can see your lips moving, but I can't hear you. Here's the deal. Good kid, great kid. I'm very proud of the work he and his mother, me and his mother put in. Good everywhere. Everybody says he's such a good kid. He's so mannerable. He's so this and that. But let me tell you something else. When I leave for work at 6:30 in the morning, and I come home at 5:15, and the trash can is still on the street, and his car is in the same spot it was in the driveway, I come in and ask him, so, Brad, this is what you've been doing all day? This been your position all day? He says, well, I've been writing a paper for school. You ain't wrote no paper for no 10, 12 hours. You can stop that.
No. You got to do a lot of research.
Yeah, I have a chameleon who sheds from the front door to upstairs. I just came up here and I looked in the bathroom. He got 2 pairs of shoes in the bathroom. The game room got about 4 pairs of shoes. He has empty. Dog, why you got? That's a whole new story. So empty water bottles. Grown folks do not drink all the water out the water bottle. I'm gonna stop buying water.
Man, I can show you. And here's the other thing. So because he's a musician at the church that he's a part of, and they had a Zoom call last night. So he decided to put his laptop on top of my laptop here in my home office. He could do it in his room. He could do it at the kitchen table. He could do it anywhere. But he decided to put his laptop on top, not push it to the side, not move it to the side, but put his laptop on my laptop.
They don't move your stuff.
Everything that was in place is moved. I have a problem with that. I got a whole problem with that. This is my one gripe, and then we're gonna move to the next one. So he spends time at his mom's house and my house. He gets sick of me, he go to his mom's house. He gets sick of her, he come to my house. So I showed him a printout yesterday. I said, notice the months when you were at my house compared to the months that you were at your mom's house. My light bill is $82.55 a month every month.
Yes.
When you are here, my light bill goes to $200 and something. Guess who ain't doing that no more? Because you choose to leave all the lights on, leave everything going, and play the stupid game all night. So here's the deal. You can do everything you want to do because next month the bill is yours.
No. See, you went wrong. This where you went wrong, Mike. This where you went wrong. See, when he was in college, you should have got his bank account. You, your wife, and him should have been on one account. Listen, my son.
Because you said my wife.
I mean, not your wife, the baby mama. Anyway, my son has the same account he had in college that I started, Wells Fargo. I'm on there, so I know how to go in there and get money out of there.
Put some money on them lights.
I used to have that the account. So here's another thing. You want to talk about this? Here's a statement that came out, and we'll talk about it. We'll pass the time, but y'all hang out a little bit longer. Here's the statement. The statement is damaged men can't commit, and damaged women can't submit. Read it again. Damaged men can't commit, and damaged women can't submit. What do y'all think about that?
What does submit mean?
Commit.
Did you say what does submit mean?
Commit.
What?
He said, "What does commit mean?"
Are you referring to a submissive wife? Like submit? Right. Submit.
Well, obviously, she's got to be single if she can't submit. Y'all don't understand? Yeah.
No.
Y'all lose y'all?
Yeah, I mean, we understand, but it's
pee in the pool a bit. I'm here all day long.
So I'm just here. So damaged men can't commit. Understand? And damaged women can't submit. Submit.
Meaning you've been hurt, you've been hurt, you've been drugged, you've got your own set of rules that you think you live by, and you are not submitting to another man at all. I'm just not going to do it. I tried it before. Well, she will be lonely the rest of her life because really we submit to one another. It's not so much that the man runs everything, because sometimes we have the wrong idea of what submitting is. But we submit to one another. But if she is at the point to where no one or this man or no man is going to have any sort of influence, yeah, let's use that word, in her life, then she will not have a man. Okay. She would just be alone. Because in any relationship, you're going to have some submitting. That's both ways. Sandra asked a very valid question. Sandra's question is, what is a damaged woman? What is a damaged woman?
One that's been drugged down the street and skull dragged. You just damaged. Just skull. DC. Choked. Your ass been choked.
Real quick, there's a lot of unhealthy relationships out there, and the thing about it is, these people, they're staying together. They're fighting. They're talking about getting drugged. This is on a weekly basis. So I think there is somebody out there for everybody. It's not, and especially for a woman, it's not hard to find you a thirst monster, especially in this Houston area. There's plenty of thirsties around here. So with all that being said, a damaged woman is going to take her damaged self in a relationship, and it's just going to be unhealthy. And that's what and a man doing the same thing. So there's unhealthy relationships. It's just, and they're not going nowhere.
Look at Marlena say.
Marlena says, so single people are supposed to be submitting to each other? I thought that was for marriage. We're going to talk about that. I thought that's what we were talking about. We're not talking about marriage. Send that to the inbox. I'd like to discuss that one. Listen. Here go John again. John says, we really want to be together. After life happens, we will look each other in the eyes and say, I got you, sir. Please have me. Listen. I get.
Y'all know John Deck. We miss John.
We miss John. Listen, y'all are going to see some real chemistry when John gets back in town. Y'all know John. He's been with us. He's one of the original. He's definitely one of the original. All right, guys, let's do this. Everybody who's watching, send us a text or something. Answer this question. How do we present? We've talked about the culture. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm talking fast. We've talked about the culture. We've talked about dating. We've talked about marriage. We've talked about the evolution and the resolutions. So here's the resolutions. How do we progress the culture? Everybody talking at the same time? Y'all know? No ideas?
How do we progress the culture?
How do we progress the culture? How do we go from here?
Listen, I'm extremely passionate about this topic, y'all. And I talk about 2 or 3 ways on impacting Black people. And I'm talking specifically about Black people, how we can change the culture. One, we need to attack people's. We need to evolve. So we haven't evolved. We're still going out. We're marching and we're protesting and we're trying to riot a little bit. We can't do what we did in the 60s. We can't do that. We cannot do that. I talked about this a long time ago. White people, racist people, they said, man, we can't lynch in the streets no more. We can't hang Black people on trees anymore. We can't hang crosses and burn them on people's porches anymore. They said we can't do that because we're being held accountable. So what did they do? They put on robes. They got behind the gravel. Now they're judges. Now they're police officers. Now they're in high-seating officials. We're still trying to protest. We're still trying to march. We're still trying to make change.
Antiquated methods.
And it's not something that we need to do. We need to evolve. And I have ideas. I have measures. I have strategies on doing that. We just need to evolve as a people and get with the times. And that's how we need to make change. Stop demanding the white man. It's not going. They're not going to change. This is culture. This is embedded. Racism is being passed down generation to generation. You cannot force somebody to change. You have to designate. I'm talking about. I'm just going to throw this idea out here. This is my second intervention. You've got the NAACP in Houston, Chicago, LA, and Atlanta. Get 100 to 200 kids, and you dedicate those kids to politics. That's all you study. That's what you're going to college for. You're going to be an attorney, and you're going to be a high-seating official. Out of 700, 800, 1,000 kids, 3 or 4 are going to make it to the Senate seat. That is when the change happens. We have to dedicate our children to be in high-seating official positions to make the change that we demand. We cannot demand white people to change. We can't.
Nope.
That's 2. That was 2.
It starts with children.
Let's go back here, and then I'm gonna read.
Starts at home.
You got some good viewers.
Yeah, I'm gonna start with Mary's because hers was great. It was
Mary was great.
Douglas says it's easier to build strong children than to repair broken men.
Yes.
Didn't say it was impossible. Said it was easier.
Easier.
Right. Cynthia says values shape human progress. Start from there. Start from instilling the values. Mary came back and she said rebuild culture by impartation and investment in the children.
Yeah.
Bishop Jones says go back. You got to get back to the basics. The word of God, love people. Trish, hey Trish, we progress the culture with changed behavior. Okay.
And can I ask a question? Can I see? I need all my fans to say hello, DC. That's all I want to say. all my viewers, my fans, me and Sebastian fans, just say hello, DC. Let me see how my viewers, how my fans. I like all that. That's it.
Christ. Yeah. Yeah.
And Mike, you better show me all my fans and viewers too, because you hold the key to putting all these comments on here.
Man, ain't nobody said but me and Jeremiah. That's it.
Shoot.
Hey, I shout out Sebastian, man.
Yeah, he didn't say. He said Sebastian.
Yeah, you left Sebastian hanging. His feelings are hurt.
Let me tell you something.
Shout out to you with me, Jeremiah, and Sandra.
Let me tell you something. I love my wife. My wife is the bomb. My wife is the bomb. Let me tell you something. I bought a dog for $10 about 5 years ago.
You bought a dog.
Dog. His name is Tank. Tank off the street for $10 from a crackhead. Listen. He's a pit bull boxer.
Who they took that dog from?
I don't know, but he was so cute when he was little. I had to get him. So listen to me. I took him from the 3rd ward and put him in a nice house. And this Negro here go to the vet. He gets groomed. He live inside. For Christmas, it's coming soon. This Negro got a brand new couch bed because we bought brand new furniture. So she say she don't want him on the furniture because we put couch covers on the couch. He'll jump on the couch, so it covers the couch. If you don't put the couch cover, he don't get on the couch. So we don't want him on a new couch at all. So she said, well, he got to have something. So she went to Wayfair and bought him this big old dog couch. They got dog couches. So me seeing she did not want no dogs. Oh no, y'all know what? I gotta take care of the dog. That's her best friend. You can't tell Tank nothing. Tank come, shoot. Tank live good and eat good.
So with that being said, we're gonna close out because we'll be on time. However, with that being said, DC, what you getting for Christmas?
Oh, I got grown folks. We're not buying no Christmas gifts this year.
No gifts.
No, got grown folks. They got money, they gotta buy houses, they gotta go places. No. But I've been on Amazon shopping for my damn self. I done bought all kind of mindless stuff, all kind of stuff. So Amazon I've been getting gifts. I'm getting gifts. They ain't getting no gifts, but I'm getting gifts.
What you gonna buy us for gifts?
Oh, I got my boy something. I'm gonna get my boy something for Christmas. I know everybody something. I know what you like. I don't know what Jeremiah like.
Well, let me ask you this. What shouldn't they get a man for Christmas?
Let me tell you something. I got 5 things that men don't want for Christmas. You ready for this? Number 5, please do not buy me no lawn equipment.
Lawn equipment.
That means you want to go outside, dig in that flower bed, and have me working out there. So don't buy men, black men, white men, I don't know, probably Hispanic, they might want lawn equipment, but I don't want no lawn equipment. I don't cut my own grass right now. I don't cut no grass. I don't edge it much. All right. Number 4, don't buy me no exercise equipment. Because if you buy me exercise equipment, that means you try to tell me I need to tell me something.
Right.
You try to say, hey, baby, you might want to get that 6-pack like you had about 40 years ago. So don't buy me no exercise equipment. Number 3, Amy, cousin, Sheila, do not buy me underwear. Nobody in your family besides your wife should buy you no underwear. Don't no woman, no uncle, no Amy should buy you underwear.
They can't buy you no drawers?
No. How your Amy gonna buy you some Fruit of the Loom drawers? You white.
They was on sale, baby.
Then she bought the whitey tighties.
Walmart had a sale, baby. No, Fabulous Perales.
Oh, Fabulous. Take that shit on back. Number 2, I'm a mailman. It's a true story. I'm a mailman. I get gifts for Christmas. I thank y'all. Please do not give me a used gift card. I got a used gift card one day to Subway. I was in line. I got my sandwich. I went there. The sandwich like $7 whatever. I got to line. The lady told me I needed $4 more because it's only $3.40 on the card.
Wow. That was all you were supposed to get was a drink.
That's it.
Cookies.
So do not give me a used gift card.
They got you the card. They didn't tell you to use it. They just got it for you.
That ain't right. It had $10 on the back of that. So I thought I had $10. No, I had like $3 on that card. Anyway, the number one thing, don't give me for Christmas or any man fruitcake.
Oh, we don't want no fruitcake.
Do not give me fruitcake. That's it. Also, hashtag Brute Cologne.
Brute.
No Old Spice. No Cool Water.
That's
no thing come out of Walgreens.
Paul Sebastian.
Sebastian say he do not want no Cool Water.
We say Stetson.
No Stetson. No Aramis. No Aramis.
Folks, thank y'all for hanging out with us tonight. That was DC's top 5 things he does not want for Christmas. I hope you heard that.
What about some juke?
If you ain't getting no juke, you ain't getting no nothing. Jeremiah, what you got to close us out with tonight?
Hey, y'all. Jeremiah Rankins with Minor to Major, helping people turn their minor setbacks into major comebacks. Just a friendly reminder to go get therapy before it gets at its worst. Your marriage, you see problems starting to come up, get the therapy, not just from myself. Go to any therapist you feel comfortable with. Get the help as soon as possible. Stop this 50% ratio on divorce. Get the help before it gets at its worst. Thank you.
You good. Current KC Fashions, I can cook anything I want on my big fancy kitchen Charles.
They like your chicken. They like that chicken.
The chicken was good, man.
They didn't eat it. They like that. I kept hearing, he sure had some good chicken on there.
What you got for us, Doc?
Man, I just want to say this as it relates to, you just talked about Christmas with DC, what not to get for Christmas. I just want to remind everybody to keep the real meaning of Christmas at the forefront of your mind. You know, I know this is a time, it starts with Black Friday, where people get to shopping and pushing, and it becomes a commercial event for companies to make plenty of money off of Christmas. But I would say start some traditions with your family. If you don't have any already, start some traditions with your family to make sure you keep the real thing the real thing. Make sure it's primary. It's not just about gifts. Gifts are wonderful. And blessing other people is absolutely wonderful. Blessing your children is wonderful. Yes, buying DC some Old Spice is is wonderful. But take the time, make it a tradition. Read Luke chapter 1, Luke chapter 2, the Christmas story. Make sure, you know, amongst all the decorations and lights, try to do something that has, you know, the manger, the story, the birth of Christ. Hey, here's another idea for Christmas. Bake a cake for Jesus. Y'all can celebrate the party, but bake the cake. In other words, it's a simple thing. I think it's a simple thing for your kids to know this ain't about me.
Right.
You can eat some of the cake, but this ain't about me. So just do some things start some traditions that will keep the real meaning of Christmas alive and foster it to your children and your family.
Folks, we're going to do a Christmas special just as we did Thanksgiving. We're all going to come together away from our homes and be in one spot and have fun and celebrate Christmas a little early. However, we'll keep you updated on that, because if you like our show, the chemistry is so much better when we're in person. John White is somewhere. However, DC, what you and Sebastian got for us as we close out?
What's up, everybody? I just want to piggyback. I'm not going to go long and spiritual and stuff. I just want y'all to be like, hey, we got a couple more weeks for Christmas and we're going to be here and everything. Just do your thing. Do your thing. And hey,
do your thing.
Hey, go to my website, DC the Comedian, Facebook, DC the Comedian, The Sabian Hartwell, Instagram, DC the Comedian. Hey, you see us in the new male voice gear. Got the red and gray, got the blue and gray, got the all in gray. Hey, we got so much merchandise. And if you want to be nice, sow a seed in the male voice.
Merchandise, if you want to be nice.
Because this show here is one of a kind. It's one of a kind. In 2021, we're trying to take this to levels y'all never seen. We got great followers, great family. We love y'all. We love the support. Share, tell a friend. Every Thursday, 7:30. Hey, we here.
Sandra just put a comment saying, "Thank you, Mike, for my shirt." She just rubbed that. She got that shirt that she won. Sandra is the one who won the name and the title of DC's book. DC's movie.
Hold on. December the 9th. If you didn't see the movie Karma, go to Pearland Cinema Grill. The movie will be playing in Pearland. The movie is playing in Pearland at Cinema Grill. Karma.
Typically, when you go away, Blue Chocolate, you come back and you're quite long-winded. So tonight, we're going to give you 7 seconds. Close us out, Doc, and then we're going to run this music, and we out. Thank y'all again. What you got, John White?
Oh, thank y'all for all your support, to all of our followers, all of those that have supported us. Just keep on supporting us. We're going to roll this thing till the wheels fall off. And then when they fall off, we're going to NTV to get some more time. And we're going to keep it riding. So y'all keep on supporting us. Share the videos, share the live feeds. We got a Cash App. Boom, it's right there on the screen. Y'all support the male voice and help us bring this thing to where it needs to be.
Yes.
2 things before we go. I opened the show with Adrian's new song. I'm gonna close it with that too. 2 things before you go. 1, if you already have a male voice shirt, paraphernalia, or something, please take a picture in it and send it to us. We're gonna create a collage of those so that we can share with other people. Also, if you enjoyed this show, you can send us a quick video talking about what you enjoy about the show, how you like the show. You can send that to tmvtalk@gmail.com. Ain't no more in that cook, KC. You can send that.
That wasn't me. That was DC.
Somebody's sucking the air out the bottom of
that was DC. I ain't got no metal. Mine plastic.
Okay, DC, you wrong for that. So yeah, if you want to shoot us a quick video, you don't have to go get video production and all that. You can just shoot us a quick 10-15 second video saying what you like, what you enjoy about the show. We would appreciate that because we're going to share that as well. So you can send the video and send us the pictures once you have the paraphernalia. Other than that, I don't have anything else. We appreciate you all for checking us out, for joining in every week like you always do. I'm going to run this song one more time because hopefully y'all, if you haven't heard it, you're going to hear it. KC got a finger hanging up.
I just want to say one thing. On next Thursday, I may not be on the show, y'all, next Thursday, but I want to say while I'm here, next Thursday, December the 10th, is my 18th wedding anniversary to my beautiful wife, Eulalia Childs. I just want to wish my baby a happy early anniversary in advance.
Happy anniversary, Eulalia. We love you just like he do.
Happy anniversary. No, yeah. Not just like he do, but
no, just like he do. Just like he do.
Watch out, Mike. Well, hey.
Just like he do. We love you, lady. You ever seen that? She pretty. We love her. All right.
What is DC doing?
Who knows? And at this point, let's not even find out. Thank y'all for watching. Next week. Appreciate it.
It's amazing how the seasons always
seems like y'all still here. Get off of this. We're done for the night. Good night, ladies and gentlemen. We're done. We out. Go to sleep. Y'all go eat some chicken or something. Good night, y'all.